Hello everyone, Kyle from Amen Auto. Today I'm going to be bringing you something I think is pretty cool. It's a 2021 Jeep Wrangler. This thing's pretty fresh off the showroom floor. Has about 1,200 miles on it. It is one of the in-laws vehicles. Thought it was definitely worth doing a video because these things are pretty cool, guys. These are not like the Wranglers of yesterday. They're a little more unrefined, of course, than your typical crossover SUV, but they're not bad. We've had this on the highway going 70, 75. It's not that loud at all. It's like I said, it's a little louder than your Honda CR-V or our Volkswagen Crossport we just sold, but it's not unlivable. This vehicle's totally usable as a daily driver. Unlike, in my opinion, 2018 and prior Wranglers, you were sacrificing an awful lot for the style and the capability, where this, you're not making a whole lot of sacrifices. Just doing a quick walk around. This does have the LED light package. It's a $995 option. It's kind of ridiculous on a vehicle that costs $45,000, but it is a Wrangler. You don't expect that. These type of things, I suppose. These are real tow hooks, front and rear. And these do have the plastic, not body colored fender flares. Some people love that because if you were off-roading this and you managed to hit this on a tree or a rock, it's very cheap to replace. I believe that part costs about $140, and you can do it in your garage. You can snap it on. So some people like it that it's not painted. Some people prefer the paint. That's up to you, obviously. Everyone knows the capability of the Wrangler. I'll just go over some very, very brief stats. This can go through 2.5 feet of water. That's right, 30 inches of water this car has the ability to go through, and it's not even the Rubicon. So when you can buy a vehicle from the factory that can go through 2.5 feet of water, I mean, that's most local creeks and stuff. That's pretty darn impressive. Obviously, I'm not going to do it today. I will have a future video on that, but the roof, it can come off. I can show you guys very briefly how that works. There's some latches in here. It's just a couple latches, one, and then these guys, and then you pull this switch, and that'll pop this roof right off, and same with that. Has these two large speakers right inside, because obviously since the doors can come off, you can't put the speakers into the doors. So yeah, the back can come off, doors can come off. It's actually quite interesting about the doors. If you guys look right here, it actually tells you what tool in the provided toolkit you'll need to remove these doors. I think that's pretty neat. It'll keep you nice and organized. I'll actually go back here and show you guys a little more of that toolkit. It is a swing tailgate, so it's a two-piece, just like Wranglers always have been. And if you look right under here, it's actually a place to put your tools. The door hinges go right there, and that's for the roof, and that's for the windshield, because again, the windshield actually folds down on this vehicle. Very, very neat how fun this vehicle could be. Pardon all my stuff again. This does have the 12-speaker sound system with the subwoofer. It actually sounds pretty darn good. I'm actually impressed that a Wrangler has a sound system that sounds quite this nice. When you do put this down, you have to make sure to put this down first, and then you can just close the tailgate. Interesting thing with the Wrangler, the only way the engineers could make this work, pardon the frog, is by putting the rear camera right here, right between the rear tire. This is actually mounted on metal. That thing's sturdy. That thing's not getting banged up or going anywhere. But that's the only way they can make the rear camera work, because you can't put it here because the spare tire, the roof comes off, so you couldn't have put it here, and you didn't want to off-center it because then your backup camera wouldn't have been center. So it's actually kind of a cool solution by putting it right there. Again, you do have your rear tow hook right here. Just gonna go underneath the vehicle and show you guys, these Wranglers have very good off-road capability. Front and rear axles they're solid axles. There's no independent suspension on these. Makes the on-road ride slightly rougher, but that's what gives it that awesome off-road articulation to go over big rocks. Oh, I did want to show you guys one more thing. A little Easter egg. Jeep is filled with Easter eggs. I'll show you a couple more. Right here, it shows you everything. It shows you the water fording. 2.5 feet at 5 miles an hour. Made in the USA, developed in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and this is actually built in Toledo, Ohio. Jeep has been around since 1941, so they are celebrating their 80th anniversary today. I just think it's cool that they have a plate right here that shows you the specifications of your Jeep. I think that's just kind of a cool thing to have, especially when you buy a vehicle like this. Taillights are non-LED. They're just your halogens. That is because you only get LEDs if you step up to the Sahara trim, or if you get the safety package, which has blind spot monitoring. If you did have blind spot monitoring, it would be integrated right here. This is where the radar would be. But since this vehicle does not have blind spot monitoring, it is just an extra taillight. Let's step in the vehicle and look around a little bit. So getting in here, I'm pretty impressed. This interior is very nice. Window switches are in the middle, which took me a minute to get used to. But of course, that's because the doors come off. So you want to put the least amount of stuff on the doors as possible. That's why there's no speakers, no window controls, because you need to take the door off. You want the least amount of wiring. In here, very nice. You got the big 8.4-inch display. If you notice, it has this large rubber grill around it. That's actually to keep water out, because this interior, Jeep says, is completely waterproof and that you could actually hose it down in here. That's right. You could take a hose and hose down the interior of this vehicle. Now, I don't know who would take the new $45,000 Wrangler and do that, but you could if you want. Especially, it's nice if you take the roof off, you'll probably want to make sure your interior is protected in case you get caught out in the rain. You got the prominent Wrangler right here on this grab handle. This grab handle is very solid. It looked flimsy to me, but when you grab it, this thing doesn't move even half a centimeter. Those are real exposed bolts. Those are real. They're not just there for show. Including all this. You got real exposed bolts right here, and this is real metal. This is not fake metal. I'm kind of impressed. It gives it a rough. This interior comes off as a very like utilitarian, rough and tough interior, but also very high quality with the real metal, the exposed bolts. That's not fake. That's real stuff here. Shifter, another little Easter egg. You got the old Willys Jeep from World War II, I believe, right on there with the little red thing to shift it. I think that's kind of cool. Again, I'm easily amused. You got, of course, this one is not the Rubicon, but you still have your 2 high or 4 high neutral for flat towing. You could tow it behind an RV with that, or 4 low, of course, for when you're getting really off-road, rock crawling. The windshield does come down. That does require just a couple bolts right underneath here, and then I believe it's 4. They're right there, I believe. And then another little Easter egg on the windshield. You got a little Jeep crawling up the side of the windshield. How cool is that? Again, I'm amused easily, guys. You do got the 7-inch helper screen in the middle. I mean, there's a lot of infotainment stuff in here, just like any other car. It is nice. Your tire pressures are right there, just like a lot of modern vehicles. There's an off-road mode. It shows things like your steering angle, which is nice. Your fuel economy. This vehicle's actually averaged 23.1 miles per gallon. Not bad for a vehicle that's just got done being broken in. And of course, you just have all your other normal things, Bluetooth, your messages, everything like that. It's a very... People who are used to Jeeps sometimes don't realize what this new one is, and it's very nice and modern in here. We got a heated steering wheel. We got heated seats. You have dual zone climate control. So this thing also has a remote start. Let me show you the key real quick. It's a very cool key. It's a big key. I mean, look how big that is in my hand. But it's almost like an old gas can with the styling, and it's very tough. It's a big key, but again, I think it feels pretty cool. Makes you feel like you're driving something unique. I feel like that's half the allure of this vehicle. You're driving something a little bit different. It's not just your typical crossover. That's the cool thing about this. Rear seat room is actually very big. We have a car seat back here, and there's plenty of space. I was a little surprised by that. It's a very narrow vehicle. They do that for off-road. You want a narrow vehicle. You don't want a really wide vehicle when you're off-roading. So it's narrow, but it's plenty of space in the back. This generation, the JL Wrangler for 2018 and up, they made it about 2.5 inches longer. So, that pays dividends in the rear passenger comfort. One more thing I'll go on about is the powertrain. This vehicle does have the 2-liter turbo. It's actually kind of crazy how many powertrains Jeep has. There is a 3.6-liter V6, 280 horsepower, I believe. And then there's the turbo 2-liter. Makes a little less horsepower, 265, but it makes 30 more torque than the V6. So around town, coming off a stoplight, the 2-liter turbo comes off the line better. The V6 will beat it if you're on the highway and you floor it. Then you get that higher RPM power. The V6 will out accelerate it. But 40 miles an hour and below, this turbo has quite a bit of kick to it because it has a lot of low end torque. Like I said, 30 more pound-feet of torque than the V6. Now, how does it sound? Not very good. It sounds like a 4-cylinder. Most 4-cylinders don't sound too good. But there is a nice, good amount of turbo whistle when you accelerate. If you have the windows down, the roof off, you do hear that turbo whistle, which is very different, but very cool to feel in Jeep Wrangler. I thought that was a neat touch. So let me just step outside real quick. I'll turn off the engine. Stop start, of course. I can go over my overview. One more thing I did want to talk about, guys, is I didn't know this. Jeep guys are gonna make fun of me. All Jeep Wranglers, you can pop the hood just by these hooks. So anybody can walk up to your Jeep and open the hood, which I found to be a little bit weird, but I got used to the idea pretty quick. So it's kind of a bizarre thing to me that anyone can walk up and pop it. And yeah, guys, that is a 2021 Jeep Wrangler. This is, again, one more time, the Sport Altitude Edition. The Altitude gives you the blacked out everything, which is what this is. And it's, like I said, optioned as is. This is about a $45,000 vehicle. So in terms of value, I actually think it's pretty good. The Jeep Wranglers, if you go shop used ones, they hold their value starting like so well. It's kind of crazy. This vehicle will probably be worth $25,000 in 12, 13 years. You can't say that about any vehicle. You can't say that about that Forester there, for example. So they are a little expensive up front, but if you consider resale value, they're actually pretty darn cheap to own, considering in 12 years, you still got $20,000 in the driveway. So yeah, guys, that's a 2021 Wrangler. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Give the video a like, it really helps me out. And our vehicle is on its way from the factory. We placed the order last week. We're hoping in a few weeks for it to be here. And I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.